my name is Lex and today I'm going to be showing you how to make refried bean soup. I have yet to make this recipe. I'm super excited about it. I love refried beans and having soup is perfect in the fall and winter time. So let's get right into it. Before you get started, make sure you have a clean workspace, clean hands, and have tied up any loose hair or clothing. For this recipe, you are going to need vegetable oil, garlic powder or garlic clove, a 30-ounce can of refried beans, a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, a washed onion, and vegetable broth. The first thing we're going to do is dice up an onion. We are going to be dicing up about a cup. I eyeballed it here. You can measure it out perfectly if you choose. So I'm using a claw technique to keep my fingers away from the blade and just dicing as small as I want. And I'm going to do the same thing afterwards with the clove of garlic. If you don't have a clove of garlic, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder would also work in this recipe. I'm going to start by heating up a pan and putting in a tablespoon of vegetable oil, and then slide in the diced onion and garlic that we just chopped up. And I'm going to saute that until it's soft. I waited until it started to brown a little bit, as you can see here. And then I'm going to add in the can of crushed tomato. I'm going to mix that up and let it boil. Once it gets to a boiling point, you're going to let it boil for 5 minutes. When the 5 minutes is up, you can add in the 30-ounce can of refried beans and the vegetable stock. I used a carton. You could also use cans or cubes, whatever you have. And I broke it up a little bit because the beans tend to stick to the can and take on that shape. So I'm gonna let that simmer on a low heat for 15 minutes. Once the 15 minutes is up, your soup should look something like this. Before finishing off this recipe, I went through and broke up more of the bean chunks. Before we close out, I thought it would be fun to do a taste test of this recipe since I'd mentioned earlier that I'd never tried it before. Alright, I'm gonna try and make sure I get a little bit of everything in this little spoonful. That's very good. Well, thank you so much for joining me and making this refried bean soup today. I encourage you to make it for yourselves and even maybe play around with it a little bit. I think if I made this again, maybe I'd add in some whole beans, corn, peppers, maybe quinoa. I might even try putting in less broth and make it more of a dip than a soup. There are so many things that you can do with the recipes that you find through SnapEd. So thank you again, and be sure to check out the main SnapEd website for more recipes like this one.